The Xperia Z6 is almost certainly coming in 2016, and considering how good the Z5 line already is, I'm really expecting great things from Sony's next flagship handset. Hey, what's up everyone, CT and Technology News here, and today I'm doing a rumor video on the Xperia Z6, which as I said is going to be Sony's big phone for 2016. So obviously nothing about the Z6 is confirmed yet, but one thing that we probably know is that Sony's going to be bringing back the same three variants they introduced with the Z5 line. That means we'll be seeing an Xperia Z6, an Xperia Z6 Compact, and then also an Xperia Z6 Premium, so some of the details about these upcoming phones may have been mixed together as they come down the pipeline. But with that said, the Xperia Z6 is almost certainly going to employ Sony's omnibalance design, and as negative as that might seem at first glance, don't forget that other major smartphone manufacturers like Samsung and Apple have been sticking to the same design guidelines for quite some time. Simply put, if something works, there's really no point to changing it, and I think that's probably what Sony's going with their upcoming phone. With that said, I do hope the Xperia Z6 will be slightly less thick and considerably lighter. Based on what we've seen from leaks and rumors, it will be getting a slight slim down, but probably not too much of anything major. The current Z5 models do feel a bit heavy in the hand and squeezed in all dimensions, so it would be nice if Sony could fix that for the upcoming model. Now when it comes to the display, the Xperia Z5 came with a 5.2-inch IPS screen and only a 1080p resolution, so that definitely leaves some room for an improvement in the Xperia Z6. In the past, Sony has been pretty critical of 2K displays, so the Z6 might even feature a triluminous LED display with a 4K resolution, even if that drove up the cost just a little bit. Having said that, the Xperia Z5 Premium, which already features a 4K display, hasn't sold as well as Sony predicted, and it really just didn't offer that much that the Xperia Z5 didn't, so Sony might have learned a lesson from this phone, and they might be wanting to try a different strategy with the Xperia Z6. It's all a bit up in the air right now as there are no concrete details as to what Sony's planning for the screen of their upcoming phone. Now the good news is that there's definitely more information as to what might be powering the handset. According to one report, the Sony Xperia Z6 series will be powered by the upcoming Snapdragon 820 64-bit SoC, which contains 4 custom cores called Cryo. These 4 Cryo cores are going to be clocked at about 2.2 GHz, and they're also going to be built on a 14nm architecture, so that's definitely some pretty high-end hardware powering Sony's upcoming lineup of phones. Now the Snapdragon 820 also comes with Adreno 530 GPU, which is about 40% more power efficient than its predecessors, so the Xperia Z6 might feature better battery life than before. I'm also expecting the Xperia Z6 to come with the USB Type-C charging standard, since that's becoming common in a lot of different high-end Android handsets, and then it will probably also support a microSD card slot, since that's also a big plus for Sony's phones in the past. But anyways, the Xperia Z6 is probably going to be coming in spring of 2016.
Speak for Sony Xperia Z6 features, specs and release date. While we have seen a lot of rumors for Samsung, Apple and LG as upcoming flagship this year, the Xperia Z6 is believed to be one of the best smartphones in 2016. A smartphone that will seriously compete with Galaxy S7 or even iPhone 7. About the design and display, the new Xperia Z6 is speculated to have same design as Z5, but with a difference in shape. A square shape will be imposed for the new Z6, and the display will again remain 5.2 inches and the height will not change, but only the width of the phone to be broadened for the square shape, and this was revealed by the Japanese website Docomo. The display will still go for IPS LCD technology, which is used in mostly all smartphones released by Sony, and the format may be the 4K resolution. The Xperia Z6 will support the new Snapdragon 820 for the processor, and this combined with 4 GB of RAM. For the operating system, Sony will of course imply the latest Android upgrade, the 6.0 Marshmallow, and for the internal memory, the Xperia Z6 will come slightly different in 3 formats: 32 GB, 64 and 128 GB. About the camera, the Sony has always impressed when it comes to high megapixel, so meanwhile they have developed a new sensor for their camera to shoot better in night and daily pictures named IMX318 sensor. So the Xperia Z6 will have a 23 megapixel rear camera which will be able to record 4K in 30 fps. About the battery, the Sony Xperia Z6 will be around close to 3200 mAh battery capacity, which is huge and will outperform its predecessor, the Xperia Z5, lasting longer. About the release date, the Sony Xperia Z6 flagship will certainly not launch this Mobile World Congress, which takes place in March, but instead will be launched during the IFA, which takes place in Berlin during September. And this is the end of this video, guys. Subscribe for more rumors and like the video, also share it if you like it.